All right, hello. How's everybody doing? How's it going there, Zizo? How's it going there, Citrus? How's it going there, Rasmus? Good to see you guys. Haven't seen some of you guys in a little while. Good to see everybody. All right, so back in stormworks, took a little break there. It was good to get a break, a little bit re-inspired here. So a bunch of stuff I want to work on, and one thing I want to get working on here is the next build challenge. So I got a couple ideas. We're starting the first idea here. I'm kind of, we'll talk about the ideas a little bit, but I haven't decided which one I want to do yet. One of the ideas is probably going to be, so it's sea-based next one, so that is next in line. Let me just turn the music down just a hair. And so for the sea-based challenge, I'm thinking one is personal watercraft. I want to kind of keep some of these challenges on the shorter end. That makes it a little easier for me to make the videos as well. Kind of make a short week or 2-week max kind of is what I'm thinking. So first thought is kind of a personal watercraft. Think wave runner, jet ski, stuff like that. Be small, light, and the main thing is just to have kind of a fun little get around vehicle. The other thought is to do some sort of boat with a sinking mechanic. The whole point being that, again, you keep seeing daily, despite all my tutorials, people saying you can't sink ships in Stormworks. You can sink ships, so this would have kind of a RP scuttleable boat where the boat would still have to operate, but it would you'd be able to press a button, have the boat scuttle, and you would have to be able to try to escape from it. So, for example, like you would have a little boat with a dinghy, and you would go ahead, press the button, and then I have to run to the lifeboat and detach the lifeboat and make sure that I can get off the boat by the time it sinks. So, and the ship would have to sink as part of its thing. So those are the two options. You guys can kind of give me your input on what you think of those. So let's look at some personal watercraft here. So we'll go through some of that. Yeah, I'm leaning towards watercraft just for the personal watercraft, just for the ease of it. A little bit easier for people to make, a little bit quicker. One thing I was thinking here is I like the sea breacher. This is a cool idea here where essentially it's an enclosed vehicle and it's still a boat, but, because it has fins, it can dive underwater, it can go above. It doesn't fly, it just jumps out of the water and back in the water. Of course, you have wave runners here, jet skis, stuff like that. A standing jet ski would probably be kind of tough. I'll bring up my my goldfish. Goldfish is kind of the personal watercraft I made a while ago. This is one of the cool ones there that has some finnage on it. Something like that's kind of cool. Small boats. There's another sea breacher there. So that's a thought there. And then the other one, like I said, is having some sort of scuttleable boat. So let's kind of keep some of these in mind. Yeah, I like this personal watercraft slightly more. The sinking ship is more of a it's again I keep saying on a daily basis. It's just aggravating that it's like people blame the game for their own design things, and it's kind of like you can build a boat that sinks, but part of the problem is I think there's a cross section between the communities where you have people who don't build. And then they, because they don't build, they can't fix anything. And so they blame the game again for, their own inability to do these things. Like, for example, let's just quickly, I'm leaning more towards personal watercraft. I'm so freaking annoyed by this sinking ship stuff at this point that it's just, like, people think it's not possible, and I've made so many videos just showing, and they're like, oh, well, hatches don't let water in, and it literally takes 10 seconds to demonstrate that a hatch lets water in, and it's like, did you not do the test yourself? And that's kind of so I think that would be a longer challenge. So we might save that one for later. I'm leaning more towards personal watercraft myself. I don't want to have too long of a challenge either. I want to kind of be able to go up, play with it, and see. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm just gonna quickly retrofit this. So one thing, like when you're testing if something's gonna sink too, the easy way to do it here, we'll even do the test. Let's go like that. Let's go like that. Okay, and then we'll just put a toggle up here. You know, I think a lot of people don't do their tests scientifically. They don't. For example, just put a simple liquid meter in there to see if water's actually coming in, and they turn off particles, and then they say, oh, look, visually with my eyeballs, I can't see any water coming in, so therefore it's not coming in. You know, that's problematic as well. All right, so like the first test you should do, like if you want something to sink, it's pretty simple. If you have enough water in there, right, it overcomes the buoyancy, it sinks. So if you take a spawner, all right, take a fluid spawner, and you can figure really quickly, and we'll take a liquid meter. And so right now we'll spawn this with, we'll make it seawater. So we'll make it 0 for now, but if you were to go in here, so we got the boat in, let's get in here. Like this boat should be easy to sink because it's ballasted properly, you know. A lot of people are not ballasting their boats. They have just this hull that's too much buoyancy. But if we look at the liquid meter, this whole area here could hold 64,000 liters of water. Not that that is what it would weigh IRL. You know, the game, there's a difference between what it will weigh in game and IRL. So that's 64,000 liters of water. That's going to be 64,078 kilograms of water. Again, you know, metric makes sense. You know, so that's a lot. That's 128, and then another 12,000 on top of that. So it's actually pretty easy. 140,000 pounds of water could fit in this area. So you would need at least that much buoyancy to not sink the boat. All right, so like the first test is you come in here and just go in, drag the spawner up, and see, does it sink with this area filled? I would say that looks like sunk to me. The bow is probably going to stay up because the bow is full of air, just like it would in real life. Again, you know, let's see. Check some partially sunk ships here. You know, there's a lot of ships that, you know, partially sink, and they never go all the way down. Like here, let's look at some real quick. So, like, you see this one here, as you can see, there's one 90 degrees. This one's a partially sunk ship. As long as you have air in the hull, it's going to continue to provide buoyancy. Again, you add the density of the ship material, so the hull of the ship be made out of steel, and you add it to the density of the air that's in the ship. And then if the water is greater, it will, oh, stand by. And then you compare it to the density of the water. And if it is less, it will float. If it is more, it will sink. Pretty simple. Like, see, partially sunk ships here. Again, there's likely the back is flooded, the bow is not. The stern is flooded, the bow is not. The stern is flooded, the bow is not. Some of these might be sitting on the land. That one's probably sitting on the land. But like this one here, as you can see, partial. It looks like the port side filled with water. Starboard side is probably filled with air. As you can see, that one there. So you know, you get these partially sunk boats that have air pockets in them, and this is what would happen IRL. So let's go back to the game here real quick, right, jolly quick. Let's get rid of display cap for a second here. But as you can see, so we know that that much water, that's a lot of water, would, you know, it still could sink the boat. We're hitting the bottom, so if I brought it out in the open, but likely, you know, I'm walking to the walls here. All right, so open up the door there. Now again, the water is pushing on the air in here, so it's not going to be able to let necessarily it in. That's the other thing people don't understand the physics here, which is realistic, is you need to have a pathway for the air to get out. So if we went up, I'm trying to remember how to move my own ship here. So right now the air pocket is stuck in the bridge. If we open the door, right, that will let the air out, and then the ship can sink. So I'm leaning more towards personal watercraft. I'm so sick of this sinking ship bullshit at this point. But as you can see, this is full of water. And the pressure is up. That's the other thing, too, that people don't realize is, yes, the pressure will go up as you're compressing the air in the volume. So I'm definitely, I think we're leaning more towards personal watercraft, so I'm not going to dick around with this too much. Let's go back to personal watercraft. I think that's better. I agree with Citrus that that's a better idea. Let's go ahead and let's look at some more personal watercraft. Let's start building something. That is okay. So let's turn on symmetry here. Let's look at my goldfish first. So here's my goldfish. I put this out quite a while ago at this point. I dropped it from the space, so we'll see if it recovers here. I dropped it from space, so it might not recover. Let's try to get it just going here. There we go. Now it's recovering. Okay. So this one does not have gas relief valves or anything, so it's not ventilating its tanks because this is from quite a while ago. But as you can see, I think this would be kind of fun, little personal watercrafts just to get around, just to have something fun. Yeah, so something like that is what I'm thinking. Yeah, goldfish was a couple years ago. Let's look. I don't look at the date. Yeah, what's that? April 8th, 22. Yep. So it'd be kind of nice to build something fresh. So I was gonna build that. I don't want it to be too big. I really want to keep this small and light because that's something that's challenging. Is getting is for people to kind of have to pack things in a really tight space. I think that is challenging. Again, a build challenge is supposed to be a challenge. You know, keep getting people asking like, "Oh, can you make it easier? Can you make it easier?" The kind of point is to make it, a challenge. The personal watercraft to me means one person. Personal, one person. I know some of these personal watercrafts have 2 seats, but I'm trying to keep it small. This is interesting here. I like the look of this thing. This is neat. Let me see what this thing looks like. Yeah, this one's kind of neat. Is a laydown. That's really neat. Nice and compact. This is a cool thing. I like that. I'm not going to play the video, but these are... So there's a difference between a wave runner and a jet ski. A wave runner you sit on. A jet ski you can kneel or stand, and so people will do tricks with these. Yeah, I'm leaning towards I think we're going to definitely do personal watercraft. I'll slap something together, and then we'll set up the rules in the live stream here. I really like the idea of having a hydrofoil system. That's kind of neat. May or may not do that. I'm not making it where it's a speed challenge, not a race. It's you kind of build what you want. That almost looks like a snowmobile. The way they have that windscreen in. Yeah, I think we'll do personal watercraft. The thing that's going to be, I want to keep it small and light. And so the thing with this is you're going to have to use your skills to be able to put the engine in there. It's going to be modular as usual. One of the reasons I do that is I want you to build these things and learn how to do it, and get better. And that's part of what I think's part of a good challenge is going on the works. You're not gonna be able to download other people's microcontrollers, as has been the rules. I kind of like, a little boat like this is kind of cool as well. Kind of a single person boat. If you want to do more of that style, that's cool too. But, small, light, cheap, something, these are all good requirements, I think, to make it an actual challenge. If I just said, go build something, there's no challenge in that. And that's where I think a lot of people miss the whole point of a challenge is it should be difficult. You should have to really think about it. It shouldn't just be, come to you really easily. Let's see. Yep, the old goldfish. Yes, exactly, CG. Do people understand that a build challenge is a challenge? And that's the thing that a lot of people are missing. They're like, oh, can I just do this, 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 and this? It's like, no. There's a reason there are restrictions. There's a reason there's rules. Like, I liked Alistair's challenge. I participated in one last time. Because there were restrictions and rules, and you had to follow these rules, and you had to make, and there was a lot of work because that particular challenge you had to have, for example, 3 staterooms, and you had to have this, and you had to have that, and you had to have a lab, and so that made the ship where it was leaning toward the bigger side, and you had to come up with some sort of experiment to do, and that's what a challenge is supposed to be about, is coming up with things to do, you know? Yes, this is going to be the next build challenge. Personal watercraft that can sink, yes. All right, so let's see. I always like to try to go as small as possible, but the issue always is the engine, and the modular engines, while theoretically small, do take up some bit of space, and then with something small, you have to then overcome the issues you have with, the issues you then have with buoyancy, because you need enough of a buoyant volume in there, so got some things to work on here. I'm trying to decide. We'll decide as I build this whether I want to go for you have the ability to do hybrids. Let's bring up my hybrid car really quickly. This hybrid car right here, and the only reason this hybrid car is fantastic. This has insane fuel economies because it is using no glitches. But something like this size is tough to put in a transmission because you need the transmission microcontroller, which is usually about at least that big. And then you have to put in the gearboxes, which is like 3 to 4 gearboxes minimum usually for a good transmission. And so you have something in the neighborhood of, let me redo it here. Something in the neighborhood of that is going to be your minimal amount of space on this side just for a transmission. So as you can see, you need an engine microcontroller, you need microcontroller for lights if you're doing lights, and then you would need to have this much space for a transmission. So by going to a hybrid drive on this, I'm able to cut all that space out. So I'm thinking we might allow hybrid drive because, like, if we're talking personal watercraft with a hybrid drive, you get rid of, the propeller here can be, with a hybrid drive, can just be a prop and a motor. And then if you're making the engine is just producing electricity to maintain the power needed for the drive. So essentially, one of the benefits of this is you can really get past some of your torque requirements. That's one of the reasons I like using hybrids sometimes is, generally speaking, a one-cylinder modular is pretty useless because it is, it's not going to have the torque required to be able to move it unless you really, really down gear it and you lose all your speed. But you can make a one-cylinder modular that is pretty reasonable at power generation. So you could do something like this, and so you could come up with a modular essentially this compact for just power generation. The thing that you really end up, it's not too advantageous because you end up being able to just go like this, and you probably can get the same space requirements in there with a drivetrain looking like that, frankly. The problem is this tends to have too little torque, and to overcome that, all you really have to do is go to 2 cylinders. You can usually get 2 cylinders to run. I might try making a 1 cylinder, see if I can get that to work. So, see if I can get a 1 cylinder to be powerful enough. Because I like making these small builds. I think they require a lot of skill, and so it's kind of fun. All right, let's read some chat here. Alright, so let's go ahead and I'm going to build the drivetrain first, and then we'll work around that. So I tend to go function over form first, because if it's not going to work, what's the point? You know, you get some people, they build this thing that looks really cool, and then they realize they're never going to be able to get it to work, and then they get frustrated, and then they quit. You know, that tends to be what happens, I find. So it's like, you kind of have to realize that if this thing's not going to work, you kind of have to maybe even abandon it early, and so that's kind of why I go that direction first. Could up it to a 2-cylinder. I think it's gonna probably need to be a 2-cylinder. You end up struggling with torque. It was like when I was doing the ultralight challenge. You pretty much needed. You couldn't do a 1-cylinder. It was just too. It was just not enough torque. Period. Okay. I was kind of seeing. I want to kind of see what the form factor is going to be on this. I have to think what the buoyancy looks like in something like this. We need to get buoyancy in here. This is what makes it challenging, is getting all those factors in that we need. So pretty much I think we're committing to probably a 5 wide on this. And we inevitably make it, it's going to have to be bigger than I would like, because we just need the space for things. And then, I can't remember if this gearbox seals or not. We'll have to test it and check it. Yeah, something small like this also requires a lot of work to get the weight down. You know, and that's something that's important. You know, you got to work your buoyancy. It becomes a challenge, is balancing buoyancy with mass. We do need space for microcontrollers, so that's something to keep in mind too, so. Probably went too far on that. Okay. Let's get a float test out of the way here. So that's starting to get where I want. I would say, I forget what this is block-wise. Let's move that just a little bit here. So I'd say I probably want it in this area here. Keep them on the small end. Let's go lower that down. See what a float looks like. Center of gravity looks pretty good. Just eyeballing it. Turn around. There we go. That's really, like, that has really good buoyancy. All right, let's catch up on chat here. Catch up on that here, chat. Yep, more skill, less blocks. Yep. Yeah, I haven't decided yet if it's going to be hybrid. I'm leaning towards yes on hybrid. We'll see. I am leaning towards a yes on a hybrid. I'd like people to kind of play around with making hybrid drives as well. The thing with electric is if you're looking for speed, with an electric motor, you're capped out at about 19 RPS, which means you can move the propeller at 19 RPS, which means that is your speed. That's your max speed. So that's something to keep in mind too. You know, with the just direct drive, you can theoretically get that speed up. Yeah, so the main thing with my understanding of the electric motors is the higher number you're feeding it, it's more of an acceleration value. It will top off at 19 if you know, it's mostly acceleration value. So you should top off at 19 generally anyway. So you can do a slow acceleration, which will use less electricity initially. Like if you use an on-off switch with an electric motor and you go from 0 to 1, it's going to use an insane amount of electricity. If you gently start going up, the motor will have an easier time going after it. This is not a race, so it's not going to be, speed is not going to be too much of a consideration. Gearbox doesn't seal, thanks. Am I? Banana racism, hello, hello. Yeah, you know, you're not the only one on the chat either there, Stop Banana. Streaming on YouTube as well here, so you're not the only person here, so keep that in mind. Alright, so it is floating pretty well now. Do have the gearbox there, and I'm gonna have to check. Citrus says it doesn't seal, I believe him, but it's still floating pretty well, so it could just be the blocks letting this float. Let's do a liquid in here. Let's go check that out. Keep looking at the sky when I spawn in. Weird. See if I can get it. Come on, float to the surface, you ding-dong. Okay, so this is sealed, Citrus. Might have a block above it. Let's look. Could have a block above it. It's sealed. It's 100% sealed, so. Yeah, weird. It is sealed, though. Alright, so that's floating pretty well. What's that seat weigh? 10? That's not too bad. CG still is a little high already. We have good buoyancy. Let's knock this. We have not only good buoyancy, but I would say a little bit of excessive buoyancy. Let's go ahead and put a little weight in there. Get a little ballast going. All right. That's not too bad. That's not too wide. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. That sits a little bit better. Drop that CG down. That'll be a little bit more stable. I like kind of the stub of your nose anyway, I think. Yeah. It looks like it's sealing at the moment, so. Alright, so that is holding me pretty well. Pretty stable. Alright, good. So we know proof of concept, this should work. Like, I'm standing on it. Alright, and if I'm standing on my seat, it is going to have problems, which, again, you go stand and lean on a, on a jet ski, and you're going to find you're going to have problems with that, too. You're going to have to get off of it. You can't just stand on top of a jet ski for too long. You're going to flip it. But I like the look of it generally, and it's pretty good there. What I might do is this. Let's pull this. Can I do that and not screw things up? That's still looking really good buoyancy-wise. All right, good. Let's see, what's the date? 24? Let's catch up with the chat. It could be because there's something on top of it. I don't know. Yeah, with some jet skis, you can just sink them too. It's just, All right, let's go ahead. I saved that. Let's go ahead and bring in... let's see. Part 4 is the generator. Part 3 is the boat. So this is the Modular Ninja Tutorial Series boat. Did I just accidentally open that instead of bringing it in? I did. All right. Come on, come on, come on. Which one's the boat? That's not the boat. A mod tutorial boat. That's why I put it as mod tutorial boat. Alright. Weird. Alright, let's go ahead. I just want this. Ah, shit. I did it wrong, so it's gonna be annoying. There we go. Alright, good. Start getting this plumbed in. Reverse, radiator, fan, starter. Some of these things I'm going to get rid of here. Cooling's going to be interesting. See if it needs it. we'll see what we'd have to do. Let's start stripping some of the stuff out of here. Let's see. Coolant pump's gone. Radiator fan's gone. Can't shrink it yet anyway. No, can't shrink it yet anyway. Reverse battery. Alternator. We'll leave it like that for now. Get rid of some superfluous shit. Alright. Let's see. That's on the big side, this panel, but it can go under the seat here, so that's fine. Let's cut that. Start hooking it up right here. I think that'll be a little easier. Klooch. Fuel. I have not put fuel manifold in there. RPS will hook. Air manifold, not yet. Fuel alternator is right there. Starter is right there. Let's flip the panel here. There we go. All right. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and get some of the necessaries plumbed in here. All right, so generally what I might do is make this whole volume the fuel, which I think is what I'm going to do. That will make it a lot easier because this is teeny tiny. Can't you mind me? Let's go ahead and just stick that there for now. Probably let's not put it there. Let's go. Let's get rid of symmetry. Let's get that. Let's screw off that. Let's go. Let's spawn our way. One. Okay, spawner is a full block, so I don't want to do asymmetry with it. Let's put it there. And then we'll put a very tiny amount of fuel in here to start with. We'll see how much we can put in there. Liquid meter. Okay, that's good. And then something like that. Try that. That's right over that manifold piece. Okay. Space do I have? I have the space. Okay, good. Problem is I don't want this to completely fill with fuel, so probably should abandon using just the... I'm going to abandon using the whole open volume as fuel. That is going to be problematic. If you accidentally fill it all the way up, you're going to be in deep shit. So let's not do that. That's kind of wonky, I think. Because like if you want it to run at 10%, I'm not going to put a valve in there, which closes when you have max fuel. So it's better to put a tank in, I would say. Yeah, I think that's going to be safer. Safer bet. Let's see if we did that. Okay. Wrong spot. Shit. Of course it's there. Do it like that. It's gonna be problematic to ventilate. Not gonna be easy to ventilate it there. Guts to ventilate it. Okay, that might be better anyway if I can get it there. Trying to get. See, this is the thing. This is the thing here. Yeah. I need to ventilate this tank. So I'm a little tight on space here for that. Can these be used for much here? That can definitely pipe and exhaust out there. Air, I can run it normally aspirated. I just gotta get this tank fitted in the way I want it. Just kind of a pain in the ass. There. Nope. I could do that. Okay, let's try this. Eventually I'll spin this the right direction. That's gonna be a pain in the ass there. Damn it. It's gonna be tough. Okay. Okay. Check that again. Alright, that's good. Alright, that gives me a little space to do what it needs to do. Okay, there's ventilation. now we can supercharge this as well off of here. Be tight for supercharging. But I should be able to get it. That's tough right there. Let's see. Put the imp on here. Let's see what the imp looks like. Okay, that's going to be fluid out. Alright, and then what are you here? That is going to be flipped. Alright, so best case is this. Let's see, that's fluid out. And that is fluid in. So I need to run air up. That's not too bad. But this is a problem. If it's right there, I can't get that turn made. Let's see. Alright, so that's fine. We can work on that. Problem is this microcontroller now is in the way. I can slide it up though, if I need to. I'm trying not to though. Let's grab this micro. Put it right there. Okay, that fixes a bunch of the issues I'd have there. Not really. Not really at all. Let's do impeller. Right, that is fluid out, so we want to move that, and then, okay, that's fine. Got to figure out where I want it. All right. Alright, so that's now supercharged. Alright, good. That'll give us a little more power. Let's catch up here. Should be an update. Should be announcement week Wednesday. And then we just need exhaust, which is easy peasy, crazy beautiful cover girl. Let's see. Right. A lot of people are still having problems. The cats have a direction. You gotta make sure the cat's going the right direction. There's exhaust in and exhaust out, so you gotta make sure that's right. Keep seeing people almost on a daily basis. My engine dies after a little while. Yep, you're not letting your exhaust out, and it hits 60 atmospheres. That's a hard limit for the game. And then the exhaust has no place to go. It creates back pressure just like it would in real life. And bingo, your engine shuts off. So. Alright, so that now has exhaust. That should have everything it needs. Except battery. Let's throw that in. Let's look at the center of gravity. Pretty centered. Looking pretty good there. What's a bat weigh me? 10. Okay. Weight distribution's pretty good. Let's just stick it there for now. Fuel manifold, we can find it right there. Okay, fuel manifold, we have the air manifold is, I can't find it right there. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's check all of the connections here that we need. All right, so WS is what I'm using on this. 31, yep, 6. All right. Okay, inevitably the rudder's fry backwards. Alright, let's go give it a little run. Let's check all our options here. Infinite electricity's off, infinite fuel's off. Alright, let's give it a run. Okay, don't pause the music when I press pause. There we go. Alright. Six is doing dick all. Get the audio turned up. That's electricity. I didn't plug in all the electricities. Okay, let's do that for now. That'll do it. That's moving. Oh my god, the rudder's in the right direction. It's usually not the case. Alright, so we're up and running. Alright, good. That's good. Let's see. See if we can tune this engine up a little bit. What's my max here? 15. So this seemed like it was reasonably cumbered. That's the only way we're going to be able to test with a linear. Let's get a linear on there and start looking at speeds here. Let's put a dial over here so I can read it. Put a dial over there so I can read it. I'll quickly shut off player damage too. I don't want that on. So that's not bad. That's 20-something knots without playing with it. 5, I think. Oh, that's reverse. Go 5. All right. Make sure 5 is toggle. Should be set to toggle to start with. Yep. See how encumbered our engine's running? Alright, good. So now we're up to about 12, so we've gained about 2 meters per second. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll switch it. Alright, there's about 30 plus knots right there. A little bit over 30 knots right there. Alright, good. So let's keep going up. So again, this is how you tune your gearbox. Just keep going up until going up makes you go slower. At that point, the only way to do it is, the only way to go faster is you need more power. Basic math at that point. You know, you've overloaded your engine. If you keep increasing, eventually you overload your engine, and increasing the gear ratio makes it go slower. Makes perfect sense. Alright, so we're just barely hitting 16. Now the acceleration is going to be worse. You're going to lose some acceleration on this. So you have to, that's the other thing that people will do, that you do at IRL, is you set up your gear ratios. Do I want to accelerate quickly, or do I want to have top end? So as you can see, we're now tapping 18, 19, that's 40 knots. Right there. Okay, so we hit 20. It's going to try to dance on us. Let's quickly just switch it over. I got to recall it. Alright, so we were just barely tapping 20 on that, which is pretty damn good for a 2-cylinder. Alright, we're going to pre-switch it and then start it up. And so we'll do a run with it on the next higher gear ratio. So you hear it starting to stall. So you could make this work, you just have to feather the clutch more. So if this goes over 20, we know that this is a faster gear ratio, but we have to feather the clutch. So I prefer the little bit of extra acceleration we get. At this point, you notice we're starting to overload the engine. We're still getting 20. So this gear ratio here will give us more fuel efficiency, but we'd have to feather in the clutch and stuff like that. So I think we're going to go with the lower gear ratio. This thing is not going to burn a huge amount of fuel. You're not going to be out on this for 4 days. Again, you're going to go play with this, and then you're going to go put it away. You know, so got to keep that in mind as well. So let's see. We're going to run probably a 9.5. Yeah, we'll just do a straight reverse on that. We'll plug reverse back in. So we got that figured out. All right, good. So that's the gear ratio we want now. Stability-wise, let's see what we got for stabs here. Now, I could hydrofoil this a little bit. Nah, it's not going to let me put the fin in there, is it? Okay. The one thought I had was actually making this a full-fledged hydrofoil. The other one is not, so I got to kind of decide what I want to do there. The rear is easy. Just put them right here as trim tabs on the rudder. let's see where we're at there. Right there. So we at least need to do... Just going to go all the way across on that. Okay. I don't understand why that's putting a hole in it. This has done this before. I don't get it. It's, there is a... Oh, right here. Okay, never mind. We're good. I see where it is. All right, it's right there. That would make sense. All right, that fixes it. I should be able to cut out that. That makes sense. Front is also needs to be fixed. The front of it. It shouldn't. See, this is weird to me. Is this should have a collision here, but I've had that problem before where I need to put a block there. See, now it's fine. That's weird to me why it needs that extra block. It still should have its old collision, but I don't know. Whatever. All right. Alright, so we should be getting better speed now because we're going to be sitting on top of the water. I think I left it in the higher gear ratio. Let me fix that gear ratio again. Go back to 3.2, see how that does us. Oh, that's a little bit slower then, I guess. Probably the extra drag off of those fins. Let's give it a... So this has no stability system in it. The cat came in to have a puke. Lovely. Alright, let's check something real quick here. Let's change a little bit of a feather on here. Alright, so understanding how a gearbox works, how you want to rev up, is you want to rev up an underpowered engine, you want to rev it up higher before you start applying clutch. And so for that, if you look right here, where does it start to cut out? Let's see. So this right here is clutch engagement RPS. So the higher this is, the more... So force is mass times acceleration. So the force we're getting is we have a two-cylinder engine. The pistons weigh something. Crankshaft, flyweight, all that stuff weighs something. That's your mass. So force is mass times acceleration. Your acceleration is your RPS. So we're taking the mass of the components, which stay static. We're not changing the size of our engine. And we're multiplying it by the RPS to get our force. We don't have enough force. We don't have enough power. So one thing you can do here is you can increase this. So it will let the engine rev up till 5 now, and then it will start to apply the clutch. So we're making more force, which will help to overcome the resistance of the water. Again, why just downloading something off the workshop is not a great idea because you don't understand why these things work. Better build it yourself, understand the components. Alright, so I also increased the gear ratio, so that is why it also had a little bit of a struggle, was it's running a higher gear ratio now, so you see we're up around 20 now. So we're just tapping 20, so that's 20 times 1.94, that's 38 knots. So 38 knots is about what you're probably going to be getting in a wave runner. let's go ahead and let's put on some wind. I'm probably might test this with a little bit of wind. 50 is not bad right now. Like, I have no stability system on here. I just have fins. There's no active stability system on this. It is just fins. And they're essentially symmetrical hydrofoils. All they want to do is maintain the last position you leave them in. So there's 50% wind with a very light craft. We might be able to get it to act funky, but as you see, for the most part, it is behaving itself. It's well balanced. It's inherently stable. The balance is about 50-50. That means the weight's in the middle. Center of gravity is low. That will keep the boat from wanting to roll over, right? It wants to stay upright. When I turn, it wants to stay upright because the weight is low, right? That's why it doesn't roll over, all right? So you can see, even without a stability system, it is super stable and 50% wind. Let's go nuts. And this thing is very, very light. So, you know, the wind should, by all rights, be taking this out, but the fins, just with those fins, are giving it stability. You know, plus with inherent stability, again, it wants to stay upright because we have a low center of gravity. So it's going to fly in the wind because it's so light. But you notice, it does not roll, it does not tumble. What's it do? It goes perfectly flat every time. There's no PID, there's no physics sensor trying to do tilt, there's no altimeter. It's just inherent stability. I started doing a video on inherent stability in boats. I'm trying to make it a series so it's not 4 hours long. But, yeah, the video isn't that long. So you see, eventually it will get crazy, but all you have to do is stop the motor, let it reset itself, and then go. Because it's what was happening there was that was creating an oscillation that each oscillation was getting worse. So each essentially turn was getting worse. Are we started? Oh, I think I have, yeah, space was on toggle. There, yep, space is on toggle by default, so I have to change that. Space should be push. It was keeping us shut off when I press space, so I gotta just change that off. But, so sometimes you get dynamic stability and dynamic instability. So dynamic instability is when it will get, the oscillation will get worse over time without intervention. Dynamic stability is the oscillation will get better over time without intervention. So essentially with this one, we had a dynamic instability there. See how the oscillation is getting worse? So what you want to do is just press spacebar, shut the engine off, let it settle. And you're not shutting the engine off, you just stop giving it power. And now we're off to the races again. So this is nice that I don't have to put a stability system in this. It's stable enough, just with a little bit of pilotage as the oscillation gets bad. See the oscillation getting worse, spacebar, and then back off to the races. So really good. That's 100% wind. No stability system, no PIDs, none of that stuff. Just real stable on its own. I might square off the transom on this. I don't like this little weird beaver tail on it. And we have plenty of buoyancy. That was a fear I had, was are we going to have enough buoyancy? And we do. So I'm going to kind of, we'll square off this tail. Got one more. Be funky. I just got to look at it real quick. I doubt this is what I'm going to do, but yeah, I'm not going to do that, but I'm just interested in what I would do here. Let's go. Went the wrong way there. There we go. All right. So like here, let's go back and look at the CG on this. So like if you look, let's measure. Alright, so counting the rudder is going to be a distance of 17, so 4 1/4. 17, so half of that, we're talking 9. So if you look, it comes right in at about 9 is right there, so a little bit forward biased. But then you have to consider the buoyancy. The front, it looks on this to be more buoyant than the rear. So by putting the weight a little bit forward, we're getting a better balance. So you see it's pretty well balanced forward and back. It's balanced left to right, and the center of gravity is nice and low. So it prefers to be upright than upside down. So that makes it inherently stable. Try not to sneeze in the mic there. What is this message we're getting here? Alright, stand by. Alright, let's catch up on chat. Hello, Alistair. How are you? Yeah, so I think, so that's where we're at now. So the mass on this is 256. So you see, with 100% wind, even at 256 mass, it is still very stable. You know, so if you build these things correctly, and you build things that are inherently stable, they're going to work for you. It's, you see a lot of, especially new players, will build things that are inherently unstable, and then it's all about how the game's broken, that their stuff's not working right. It's no, it's, you got to build things that are inherently stable if you want it to be stable. You know, and that's a learning process, you know. You got to understand why things need to be a certain way they are in order to maintain that stability. If you build them inherently stable from the beginning, it really takes out a lot of the problems people end up having. I like that rear on that better. Yeah, do almost like a swallowtail on this. Yeah, I like that better. All right, let's look at the mass now. 261, so we haven't gone up much. We've still about 50-50 weight balance on there, so that's pretty good. But yeah, I think that's what the challenge will be. We'll try to figure out some of the other stuff on here, but just I'm not going to go too deep into finishing this, but again, like, this is at 100% wind. It's completely stable, has no problems. Good speed, we're around 40 knots. Again, it's not a race. All right, so like, again, let's say we want this to take off a little bit better. So we go into the microcontroller again. We're going to go to, let's see, first let's go to seat. Let's go to trigger and make that a push. Let's do stop. All right. I like zero thrust better. All right, there we go. Go back in here. All right, so let's look at this, and we want to do idles. 3.5 is fine. Clutch application I put as 5. Let's go to 10. Again, we're getting that force up by increasing the acceleration. The engine size is not getting bigger, so you have to increase it with something else. All right. So you hear the engine rev up before the clutch went in. There was no struggling. The clutch didn't go in and out, in and out, in and out, because we increased our force. So there's about 40 knots right there. Like, again, there's no active stability system on there. There's no PIDs, there's no physics sensors. It is just inherently stable. And the symmetrical hydrofoils, they're not actuating. I don't have the fins going up, down, up, down, left, right, or any of that. All they're doing is a symmetrical airfoil or hydrofoil wants to remain in the last position it was left at. So they want to stay in their last position, which in this case, you know, it's going to keep it from wanting to, like you saw before how the nose was coming up and the stern was coming down. As the stern tries to come down, the fins are acting against it, saying, nope, I want to stay in my current position. The fins up front say, nope, I want to stay in my current position. I don't care what you're doing to me, I want to stay in my current position. And that's what a symmetrical hydrofoil does. And you know, see how it keeps a little bit of a bank for a while? That's because the symmetrical hydrofoil is like, yep, we're happy in our current position. You can see nice and stable, good speeds here. I might try to put in smaller fins for rudder, we'll see. Let's catch up a chat here. CG is over on Twitch as well. Hello over there on Twitch, CG, hello. Oh, happy yesterday birthday. Oh, very good. That'd be good, a little bit better audio, and I won't have to worry about running out of battery. Hello there, Carrot, how are you? Yeah, so I like this little craft. So I think this is definitely going to be the challenge. We'll do a personal watercraft. As you can see, it is doable. Trying to keep them small. You know, this is what the challenge is trying to get things compact in there. As you can see, this thing is tiny, and it's how long have I been streaming for? An hour and 24 minutes, and you know, so I've got something that works well, that does everything I want it to do. You know, and you can dress it up and paint it and everything else, and it'll be pretty easy. So, yeah, I think we're doing pretty well there. Just try to run it on the beach real quick here. I do have vehicle damage on, so. Trying to get it up and over, but we'll see. Try going here. Not going fast enough. The other thing now is, as you can see, it's inherently stable, right? Remember, the center of gravity is below the center of rotation. The center of rotation is essentially in the center point. And the center of gravity being below the center of rotation acts like a pendulum. The boat wanted to be upright. So even though I flipped it over when it went back in the water, it wants to be upright. It rolled right back over. And that tells you that if you accidentally flipped it over in the water, it will want to right itself. So again, so many people build their craft inherently unstable, and then they wonder why gyros and PIDs and everything else, and oh my god, it's rolling over, game stupid, game don't work. No. It's the same thing they have to do in real life. The thing you not realize, when you go out on a boat, the engineers have already made sure it's inherently stable. When you go on an airplane, the engineers have already made sure it's inherently stable. And because of that work by the engineers, you have a boat that's stable. It's not that boats are magic and always want to be upright. It's the engineers have made them that way. And you could make boats and cars and everything else that are inherently unstable. You know, for a while their SUVs used to be on their roof all the time. Why? Because they were inherently too top heavy. And you'd take a turn too fast because you'd have somebody who'd only ever driven a car before, and they would get an SUV and they would take the turn just as fast as they used to in their car, and over goes the SUV because the center of gravity was too high. So one of the things the engineers went back and did, because there were all these SUVs rolling over and people are getting concerned, is they went and they lowered the center of gravity, and bingo, now you have an SUV that would rather be upright than upside down. All right, I haven't tested reverse yet. So reverse could potentially be a problem with symmetrical foils. We have to check it out here. So you see the stern will lift up, but it's still operating fine. So I want to put in no stability system if I can. It's not going to steer correctly because that rudder's out of the water, but we can go in reverse. We just can't steer. I could make it so that the fins will account for that, but again, I'm not going to do a whole huge build on this. I'm just testing out for the challenge. So let's go ahead and we'll build up the challenge rules here. I think we're good. I've got enough testing. I'm confident this is something people can do. All right. Trying to decide if I'm going to allow hybrids or not. So I think the build area, let's establish the build area first. So I think what I'll do is I'll give people a little bit extra, so it'll be that. And I think we'll, again, it's personal watercraft. I want this sucker to be small. So let's do, let's see. Let's do this cube, these 2 cubes here essentially will be the build area. Let's do this first. Let's save it. All right. No, stop. So this will give people a little bit of an extra space if they need it, but again, I don't want it too much. Again, the point is to be small. I don't want people, like, getting things too big. Let's go 1 extra. I'm giving people a little bit extra here and there. Oh, stop. Oh, it never drags right that way. It's very annoying. Okay. All right, so let's start writing these things down. Start putting it right into the rule set. Stand by as I do this. Let's see. Trying to be like, get nitro, and you can send longer messages. Stick it up your ass. No. All right, let's see. All right, so this will be Lima Bean. Oh my God. All right, so personal watercraft, 1 seat. All right, build size is limited to, let's see. Stand by, get the cat bugging me while I'm trying to do this. Buddy, stop. All right, let's measure it up. 21. 21 long. Let's see, width. 7 wide. Seven wide. And height. It's 9er. 9 high. Infinite electric fuel off, vehicle damage on, no glitches, no pivot rocket wheel, exhaust deletion, negative mass, visible micros or any of the glitches. New build, not previously released to the workshop, start for the challenge, XML, cosmetics only. Let's see. That rule's going. That was just one for the last one. What do we got for a cost here? Let's back it up. What's my current cost? Let's say 5,000 or less. 5,000 or less. Okay. And we'll put a weight restriction on this. So let's say that is 260. Let's say 350. I want this to be a challenge. I end up going way over on some of these things, and then people are always at the max. I must weigh less than 350. Let me catch up on chat here. No. Well, let's see. You can put a pivot on your control handle. That is it. I'm not having people do folding shit because the problem is, like, Alistair's now has learned this himself, is people always try to bend and break the rules, and so, like, having a pivot for the handle is fine. That's not breaking the rules. That's just making it so you can use a control handle to get in. You know, then you get other people that they say, well, you said you could have pivots, so I folded the build so that it's 3 times as long as it's supposed to be. You know, that's not breaking the rules. So we will do, let's see. Pivot for control handles allowed. All right, pivot for control handle allowed. So that is something you can do. Because that's not violating the size limit, so that's fine. I wish we could better format in Discord. It's a pain in the ass. It really is. You hit enter and then you can't make spaces, which sucks. You gotta space them out. Alright, control handles may pivot. That's a rule on there. Oh, do you? Okay. Shift enter for new lines? Okay, thank you for letting me know. Ah, good. I should have looked up formatting for Discord. Thank you, that's helpful. Thank you much. Appreciate that. That's like me trying to having to remember Steams as well. Oh, stop. Stop! I'm trying to fix the spelling. Jesus. One occupant only. So, one occupant only means one seat, one handle, one whatever, one helm, one occupant. I made this rule before, and somebody, it was, I think, I made it 2 seats, and somebody put on, like, 8 seats, disqualified. That's files under read rules. It's filed under a read rules. All right, let's see. Why won't this one bold out for me? Very strange. Oh, because I didn't edit it. Okay, there we go. Alright. Yeah, I want this to be a challenge. Like, a lot of these challenges, like, where I try to have like the ultralight, the weight was too high, people were shooting for the high weight, the engine was too big, so like trying to get ahead of some of that stuff. So what are people's thoughts on hybrid? Like with hybrid you could get some really small stuff. I think I'll allow hybrid. Diesel modular, power, let's see, power, diesel modular. Diesel modular. All microcontrollers and components must be made from you. Nothing from the workshop. That's a standard rule. I'm pretty much doing it on everything now. It's not much of a challenge if you just slap together a bunch of other people's stuff. It's kind of more of a challenge if you do it yourself. Let's see. Okay. I'm just working on the rules right now. That's what I'm doing. All right, let's see. We got power in there, so diesel modular. Let's see. Yeah. No, I'm getting more and more like my patience is very much waned for people who break the rules. And so I'm just gonna start just disqualifying shit like that. It's just like I've got no patience for it anymore. It's constant. It's constant. Like people trying to break the rules. It's the same people too. Most people do what they're supposed to be doing. Again, it's just a small group of people decide they're gonna just try to piss me off all day long, and it's like my patience for that is minimal to none. Let's see. I'm trying to decide where. Let's just do North Meyer. Personal watercraft, North Meyer. Alright, so grading, spirit of the challenge. How well does it perform the spirit of the challenge? Human factors, how well am I able to interact with it? Handling, 1 to 10. Aesthetics. Aesthetics, 1 to 10. I'm just taking out stuff from the last challenge. Workshop page, 1 to 10. Okay, good. So grading's simple on that one. Winners. Alistair, do you mind if I do emojis on mine as well? Because I don't think I'm going to necessarily do the put it in the career build series anymore. I might, but I'm not going to guarantee it. End credit's gonna stay. It's just the putting it in the career build series is kind of tough. If I don't, I feel obligated. I have to go do a bunch of career build series, and it gets later and later for me to be able to do that. So, all right. I'm just gonna take that out now. I see. I don't know how many emojis I can have. I always like to ask anyway. But, I may or may not add them. We'll think about it later because I have to see how many emojis I'm allowed on Discord because I'm only allowed a certain number of emojis, so I'd have to at some point start getting rid of them, which 50? Okay. All right. Let's see. I want this to be pretty. I want this to be a little bit of a simpler challenge, and I want people to like try to get that weight down, try to get the, and I want it to be quick. I don't want it to be a long challenge. All right, let's go. 2 days on rule clarification. So what are we talking? No, it's gonna have to be more than. When do I close this? I can't. I'm not around Wednesday for part of the day. You look at this calendar. 26 mid. Okay. Okay, let's save that. Let's quickly make the. Here, I don't know if this is interesting. Let's see. Let's see. Challenge for Alright, there we go. Alright, then. Let's see, date-wise, I think, let's see. I want to make this short. So you got 4th of July and the 4th. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to do... Let's do a Saturday midnight, and then the video hopefully get out Sunday. We'll do that. So be... Make it real short. Shouldn't be hard to get this done. We'll do 30th at 0Z. 30th at 0Z. At 0Z. Alright, so here are the rules. Build challenge, Lima challenges. Grammar. Build a personal watercraft, 1 occupant only. Build size is limited to 21 blocks long by 7 wide by 9 high. Infinite electric fuel off, vehicle damage on. No glitches, pivot rocket wheel. No, pivot rocket wheel, exhaust deletion, negative mass, invisible micros, or any of the glitches. New build, not previously released to workshop, or start prior to the challenge. Rules, XML cosmetics only. Must cost less than what I deleted a bunch of shit. It got moved to here. You cut this stuff here. Let's see. I gotta move all this shit. That's right there. Okay. Okay. Where's the weight? Okay, what must weigh less than 350? Okay, that's good. That's all I need there. Okay. All right, XML cosmetic only, must cost less than 5,000, must weigh less than 350, control handles may pivot, power diesel modular. Let's see. Direct drive or hybrid. I don't know. Do I want to do hybrid? No. Let's not do hybrid. Just direct drive. The reason being is, you know, it makes it so people don't have to worry about how to do a drive system. And they just do WS on the motor. It's too simplified for a challenge. Let's just do direct drive. Diesel modular direct drive. Okay. This needs to cut here. Okay, we're going to move that. Okay. I can't get that space out because it's two different messages. Let's see. Diesel, power diesel module direct drive testing methodology. You'll spawn it at. I'll spawn the personal watercraft at North Meyer Outpost. Grading, spirit of the challenge. How well does it conform to spirit of the challenge? 1 to 10. Human factors. How well am I able to interact with it? 1 to 10. Handling 1 to 10. Aesthetics 1 to 10. Workshop page 1 to 10. Winners. Points, captains, and community favorites. Winners will be featured in the end credits to the next challenge winners. Winners will have Discord roles added. Rules will be open for discussion. The posting of this announcement until 6/26/24 at 00 Zulu. There's the link to the discussions. Due date is June 30th at 0 Eastern. That way I can make the video Sunday. Alright, so I think that looks good. Let's go ahead and I will open that up. Post it. Alright, so those two are open now. Alright, Lima is open. Let's see. Discussions should have stayed open. Yeah, that stayed open. And then submissions I'll open up later. Okay, that is currently good. That's currently closed. So submissions are closed. We're good there. Build voting. You just can't post anything there. Yes, the live timer. I was just going to ask you about that. Let me go to the... Let me see. Okay, there it is. Yep, thanks, Alistair. Make that. Let's see, June 30th at 0, 0, 0. No, 0, 0 is not 12 p.m. Fucker, this thing. What? Is this going to be a pain in the dick? It is. I have to fix it myself. Let's see. UTC 1200. Okay, I'm trying to put in 0 Zulu and it won't let me do it. You prick, you. You're gonna be annoying, aren't you? Let's go 01. We'll make it an instant after. God damn it. Why won't you do 24-hour time, you piece of shit? God, it's annoying when it does that. You're going to be a pain in the ass, aren't you? It is. It's going to be a pain in the ass. It's not on 24-hour time, so it's being annoying. Let's see if I change the PM to AM. Okay, there we go. I might let me do it now. Oh, goddamn. All right, that's letting me do it now. Let's see. You son of a bitch. It really is being annoying. It's one of those things that works with people who don't know how time works. That's annoying. Oh my god, why are you being annoying? There we go. America, New York. That's fine. Let's go 29th at midnight because this thing sucks and won't do proper timing. 24-hour time like it should. Let's just do 11:59. You son of a bitch. 59. God damn it. I'll do 11. Okay. 11:59 p.m. I hate 12-hour time. I really do. America, New York. That's fine. Okay. And it screwed up the date. Awesome. That would have been fun to fix. What the fuck? This thing is really annoying me. Give me 11:59:00 p.m. Thank you. Okay. Alright, that is going to be... that will work. Is there a way to put this on 24-hour time? Probably not. Probably because it's made for people who can't do proper timing. Alright, let's do that. Oh, it's annoying when... 24-hour time should be the standard, frankly, as far as I'm concerned. Alright, good. So that's in there. Alright. Let's go ahead and see where we're at here. Let me catch up on chat. Yeah, it's a personal watercraft, like a wave runner, jet ski, that type of thing. Just drive it around. Drive it around, test it out. I could put that in there, but... you know, it's pretty self-explanatory in the grading. The grading is going to be handling aesthetics, so it's going to be spawned and test out the handling aesthetics, human factors. So, but it's always good to clarify. Yeah, it's that's I don't 24-hour time is just superior, I think. You know, again, it's whatever you're used to, but it's like I like 24-hour time. Makes sense. You know, there is only 112. Like, oh, you mean like midnight, or do you mean middle of the day? It's like, no, I mean 12 is 12. 12 is middle of the day. 24, you know, 23:59 is you know, a minute before midnight. You know, 00 is, you know, is seconds after midnight. You know, that's so much better. You know, 3. Well, what do you mean? 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon? No, 3. 3 is in the morning. 1500 is in the afternoon. It's just, you know, there's no ambiguity in it. You know, I like that. I like the no ambiguity of it all. Let's see. What display cap still on. All right, so rule sets are in. Again, I want this one to be short. It's simple. It's like, it's not getting extended. I'm not doing a bunch of extra bullshit. You know, I want it to be simple. It's a simple build, short amount of time. That's what I like. So let's do that. I'll save this under stormworks for later. Thank you, Alistair, for that link. Let me see. What do I want to do? Yeah, what do I want to do here? All right, that's done. Might keep it short today. The other option I was thinking was a sinking boat, but it's just like, that'd have to be a long one. The boat would probably get complicated, try to sink it out. Yeah. All right, I think we'll end it up there. We got the new challenge done. We'll keep it a shorty today. I might be on later with some other game later, but there's nothing I really want to work on at the moment. And might do a career build series tomorrow. We'll think of that. But thank you guys for watching, and enjoy the challenge. See you in the next one.